Module 1.13. Partial yes is a no. So in these last sections, I want to go through my experience and give the last piece of advice through the hiring process, and as you get maybe situation where it's not always clear if you should hire another person. And I'm pretty sure you know the situation I'm describing, because in the end, with people, it's not an exact science. It's not like you can put all the criteria in a spreadsheet and have a calculation at the end and say, yes, it's a yes or a no. It's much more complex than that. So what do you do when you are in doubts? And it's not a big yes, but it's not a big no either. And here, some piece of advice in this situation. So when you have doubts, ask yourself, are your doubts real? Because sometimes we can have doubts, and I have had this situation myself based on my own experience. Having doubts because that person really reminds me of a person where it didn't go well with, and I'm really afraid that it ends the same way. And it's valid concerns. But are they real? Are they truly based on real foundations? So first of all, when you see yourself with doubts, where are they coming from? Are they real? Do they have some facts through the hiring process? Can you pinpoint where we have the doubts and where were the actions or behaviors that make you doubt? So really listing all the places that when you map them together actually creates a foundation that there's doubts. And the thing I do when I have doubts, and so for example, there was some inconsistency a bit in the behavior in some interview, but nothing big, but some things. Then what I do, I like to get more data. So through the next interview, I can brief as well the interviewers and say, I am not sure about this part, as we discussed in the interview with the person. Can you inquire more about that specific part in your own interview, when we have a team interview step or culture interview? Giving a concrete example here, for example, when the person is only motivated to join the team to get a senior position, because they want to get senior in LinkedIn and that's what they are going for. And when I see some signs of it, but at the end of the interview I cannot really say it's a thing, then I give a briefing to the next interviewer, look, ask some questions around it and see if there's really something, dig deeper. And that's how you get more data, and at the end you see, is this doubt real or not? Once you have done that and you still have doubts, so it's still not very clear because there's inconsistency, sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks not so good, then the first step I would recommend to do is giving the feedback to the person directly. And that has been the most effective way actually to get to know somebody. So it happened to me as well through applications that I was really not sure, but I wanted to give a feedback to the person because at this point I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, I cannot tell if my doubts are real or not. And telling the person, look, it sounds like you are looking for something else, and from the things you've mentioned, it sounds that it's very important to you. Is that true? And then the person can even say yes and validate and say like, yes, this is really important for me to grow in my title because. And I can tell directly, okay, sorry, but we cannot give you that in the role, and we stop it here and everything's fine. And in some other situations, it can also turn the situation where a candidate would say, I'm sorry if I came across like really wanting this role and this title, but in the end, what is really important for me is I want to make sure that I have a salary that is up to my expectation. And I understand to get there, I need to be a senior. But in the end, it's about the salary. And when I understand that is, okay, actually the salary you have asked is matching with our grid or expectation, so you will get the salary, but maybe not the title. So is that fine? And actually we match things, we line up things, and in the end, sometimes we find agreements. And actually through the conversation, the fact that persons opens up and share as well very transparently where they are, what they mean, correct what they have said, maybe saying like, oh, I was really not very clear in my communication, sorry about that. It shows a lot as well about their own character, the ability to correct the mistakes or the misunderstandings and also clarify and move forward from that. And I value that a lot through the hiring process. I have hired people like that where through misunderstanding it was almost a no, and then everything turned around because actually we had that honest conversation and all the masks were down, and this is what created trust through the process. So this is also a good way to test values when you confront the person with the hard feedback or negative feedback when you are not sure. And if after all these attempts you still are not sure about the person, then this is where I would say that a partial yes is a no, because you will never know actually with the doubts. And there might be a good reason for it or not, but as a hiring manager, if every day after a person joins you have doubts about them, when they onboard, when they work, it will take your attention all the time, and they will feel as well that you have doubts on them, and it will not be good for anybody. So it's not worth to take out your focus, and it's not very fair as well for the candidates who left a place or come with hopes and then come with doubts. So my recommendation, when you are not sure after all the attempts and investigating more, it's better to let go and spend more time to really find the right person where it will be a big yes for you.